I'm saying this occasion is auspicious and historic because it is important, first and foremost, but second, it is the first time a licensing round is held in Tanzania. As we heard, the acting CEO, all the other rounds took place in Europe and America. In fact, it was on my advice that this round is being held here in Tanzania. It was originally planned to take place in Houston, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, oil and gas exploration in Tanzania has a long and interesting history. It all started in 1952 when British Petroleum, BP, and Shell International Oil Company, Shell, famous here in Tanzania, Shell BP, were jointly awarded a concession covering the onshore coastal basins in the islands of Zanzibar, Pemba, and Mafia. Extensive geological and geophysical surveys were undertaken. 4 exploration wells were drilled. These were Pemba 5 on Pemba Island, Zanzibar 1 on Zanzibar Island, Mafia 1 on Mafia Island, Mandawa 7 in Lindi region. Unfortunately, the mission was not successful. The 2 companies relinquished the concession in 1964. In 1969, the government decided to establish a national oil company, hence the Tanzania Petroleum Development Corporation. The company was tasked, among other functions, to spearhead and coordinate all activities related to exploration of oil and gas in the country. Subsequently, the concession previously held by BP and Shell was awarded to Agip, who were later joined by Amoco. Agip conducted the necessary surveys and drilled 5 deep exploration wells, including Ras Machwisi 1, Songo Songo 1, Kisangire 1, Kisarawe 1, and Kizimbani 1. Luckily, these exploration efforts were not in vain. They revealed the presence of natural gas in Songo Songo 1 well. However, the evaluation indicated that the reserve of around 4 billion standard cubic feet was not of commercial quantity. In 1974, Agip relinquished the Songo Songo license. However, our determination was not withered by the disappointment of previous 2 attempts. TPDC undertook further evaluation of the Songo Songo property by acquiring more seismic data and drilled 3 more wells. This extra effort and perseverance was rewarded with the discovery of more natural gas, and the new reserve estimates became 43 billion standard cubic feet. This new discovery then raised the interest of oil companies. As a result, exploration activities increased. New exploration licenses were issued to Shell in Ruvu, Selu, Mandawa, and Mafia. International Energy Corporation, IEDC, Tanga, Alpha Kitane, Mafia, and Nyuni, Amoco, Lake Tanganyika, and Rukwa, and Texaco in the Ruvuma Basin. These operators carried out geological and geophysical surveys and drilled a total of 4 exploration wells. This time around, Agip was lucky as before. In 1982, they made another gas discovery at Mnazi Bay 1 in Mtwara. Once again, however, Agip declared the discovery as non-commercial. TPDC carried out more seismic data acquisition onshore and offshore to promote open acreage, and also drilled 2 exploration wells at Kimbiji onshore and Tankan offshore. 5 gas appraisals were drilled in Songo Songo gas fields. New reserve estimates became around 1 trillion standard cubic feet, paving the way for development. And the costs of appraising Songo gas fields were around $100 million, while costs for the 2 other wells were around 10. Ladies and gentlemen, the exploration for oil and gas in the deep offshore Tanzania commenced in 1999. Players in the deep sea include, as it stands now, include Statoil and ExxonMobil, BG and Oilfield, Petrobras and Shell, and Dominion Oil and Gas. The first deep offshore well, which became a discovery, was completed in October 2010 in Block 4. The wells drilled afterwards in the deep sea namely Jodari 1, Jodari North, Jodari South, Mzia 1, Mzia 2, Chaza 1, Pweza 1, Chewa 1, Ngisi 1, Pepa 1, Papa 1, Zafarani 1, Zafarani 2, Lavani 1, Lavani 2, and Tangawizi 1 were all successful, with the exception of Zeta 1. In this regard, we have been able to increase our natural gas reserves from 7.5 trillion standard cubic feet in 2003 to 43.1 trillion today. Indeed, these discoveries have transformed Tanzania into a hotspot now, an investment destination of choice for the oil and gas industry for exploration and development. In view of the latest positive developments in the oil and gas sector, it became apparent that there was need to do a comprehensive review of the way we conduct the affairs of the sector. As a result of this, as the Minister said, we are now in the process of concluding a national gas policy framework to ensure smooth operations of the industry. We've also reviewed the terms of the production sharing agreements, PSA, and we are taking concrete measures to improve investment climate in the country. Of course, some foreign companies have confessed that our investment incentives are arguably among the best on the African continent. This makes us feel good that we are as competitive as the other players in the industry. No wonder, therefore, we have 24 active PSAs and 17 operators in the oil and gas industry in our country. Ladies and gentlemen, the duty at hand for us all is to ensure that there is a fair and level playing field for operators and investors in the oil and gas industry and other sectors of the economy. This, in our view, will enhance further flow of foreign direct investments, flow of technology in the country, and intensify exploration, and therefore facilitate more discoveries to be made. I wish to take this opportunity to assure our investors in the oil and gas industry and other sectors of the economy that Tanzania is ready and willing to do business with you. We are ready to facilitate your business and ensure that your investment is safe. We have the necessary institutional and regulatory frameworks in place. We always endeavor to continue to improve the investment climate, provide efficient and effective regulatory framework, and improve our infrastructure in order to reduce the cost of doing business. We intend to develop our human resource to match the requirements of the oil and gas industry. Our dream is to create a situation where the government, investors, and the people of Tanzania will emerge as winners. There should be no loser in our invest setup. In this regard, the spirit of partnership and cooperation is paramount. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that poorly planned petroleum operations may become an environmental hazard. It will affect people, our land resources, water resources, plants, and animal life through pollution. Unfortunately, some of the negative effects of pollution are irreversible. It will be futile on our part and an act of gross irresponsibility if we undertake poorly planned exploration activities that will have negative impacts to the environment. It will adversely affect us and our future generations. In this regard, it is important for oil and gas companies operating in Tanzania to observe or to abide by the operations guidelines and the law which calls for high standards of environmental concerns and protection. We want our resources to be a blessing and not a curse. While exploring and developing oil and gas resources, I urge you to seriously consider the emerging home and regional market, which is growing fast. This market has a high demand for gas, for power generation, and for industrialization process. You must be aware that there is a demand for gas here in Tanzania and in the region. Therefore, plan also to meet this demand as you also consider to export the gas to other markets elsewhere. We don't want to get to a point where we export gas and import urea. Rest assured that the gas will not be sold at giveaway prices. We will not do that. We don't want to kill the golden goose that lays the golden eggs. Our ambition is to see to it that this important resource is also playing an important role in promoting growth and development of our country. It has direct multiplier effect to the Tanzanian economy. Let us work together towards realizing this dream. Before I conclude, let me say something. Let me say it in Kiswahili. There's been a lot of discussion lately that the government does not care about the Tanzanians and the Tanzanians. I say this is a misrepresentation. As per existing law, as per existing production sharing agreement, the structure is simple. We issue a license to a company to do exploration. This company undertakes seismic exploration. This company does this 2D or 3D evaluation. They identify a structure. I've been a minister for energy, so I know these terminologies. They identify a prospective structure, and then they decide to drill at that place and make a discovery. So after they have made the discovery, this company goes into the development of the well. And then there's a production part of it. So when after they have developed the well and they go into the production, first thing we do is there is an allowance for them to depreciate their capital, to pay their cost. After they have paid their cost, then the share structure is either 35-65 or 25-75. The company takes 25, government takes 75. The company takes 35, government takes 65. So interests of Tanzania have been very well covered in the current structure. So I want to make that clear. We should not create, because there is the way it is being presented. As if we in government don't care. Don't care about the interests of Tanzanians, we only care about the investors. No, it's not true. We are getting 65, they are getting 35, or we are getting 75, they are getting 25. This 65 or 75 is being held by TPDC in trust on behalf of all Tanzanians. So I want to make this point clear. The issue has been the Tanzanian private sector. Well, now it is up to Tanzanians to decide. If we want the 75 to give it to the private sector, or to leave it to TPDC and hold it in trust on behalf of all of us. That's one thing that we can decide. The other is the Tanzanian private sector to participate. There is no restriction. Nobody has been restricted. But even if the Tanzanian private sector participates, they are also going to get into an agreement with the government on the same terms. They will take, they have to do the exploration at their cost. When they make the discovery, they will get what we call capital allowance. They get the allowance to depreciate their capital, their investments. After that, the share will be the same. Government 65 or 75, they take 25, they take 35. So I wanted to make this clear. You know, there is no discrimination. Nobody has been discriminated. So the issue is, how do we help the Tanzanians also who want to get in that business? That's something different. How to help them is something different, and there cannot be an accusation that this government doesn't care. No. As far as it is, as far as we are concerned, this is the investment law as it is. Sasa tutamsaidiaje mzao? Haya ni masuala tutazungumza. Lakini kusema kwamba kwa utaratibu uliokuwepo sasa ni kwamba Watanzania tunakula hasara, si kweli.